don't think you fully understand the brilliance and insanity of Ethereum. How an idea so revolutionary, with practically unlimited potential to change the world, was theorized in the mind of one person. One person who didn't want to make just another Bitcoin. Someone who saw the limitations of Bitcoin and set out to create something so much more. Something with the potential to flourish into a platform that empowers anybody in the world to build incredible technologies. In this video, I want to show you the unbelievable story of Ethereum, the birth of the cryptocurrency, a little bit on how it works, and all of the exciting things that are possible through it. But first, we have to go back to the coin that started it all, the one and only Bitcoin. At the end of the day, Bitcoin was what inspired the one and only inventor of Ethereum, Vitalik and Bitcoin. And he really is one and only. He's a unique character in many, many ways. In his appearance, his outfits, his beliefs, his demeanor, but most importantly, his intelligence. When Vitalik was introduced to Bitcoin, well before most of the public in early 2011, well, he quickly became obsessed with it. He wanted to understand everything about the technology behind Bitcoin, shooting through dense podcasts and articles with relative ease. In no time, he wanted to write articles himself. He stumbled upon a member on a Bitcoin forum who was starting his own blog called Bitcoin Weekly and was offering to pay writers 5 Bitcoins per article. Vitalik agreed to join, and with his first article published, he now had his first 5 Bitcoins in his wallet, or a total of $4 US. But the wage didn't matter. Having an outlet to discuss and teach the subjects that he loved was all he wanted. Earning a little Bitcoin for it was an added bonus. Plus, Vitalik was still a high school student at this point, so he didn't really have a frame of mind for what a lot of money was anyways.
You know, being a high school guy with not much money, I thought $1.5 an hour was a fairly reasonable wage, so that
was a good deal to you. $1.5 an hour.
Yeah, fight for 1.5.
Yeah.
So by the time he graduated high school and began his first semester at Waterloo University, he had moved on to a different news source, the Bitcoin magazine, and continued expanding his network of online friends, all of which loved cryptocurrency almost as much as him. And this is when Vitalik started to realize that a normal life just wasn't for him. The work he was doing at his university was taking time away from his ability to network online, write articles, and learn about Bitcoin. He was meeting such fascinating people from all across the world, all with different reasons for being interested in Bitcoin. Some were libertarians, hoping to diminish governmental power by allowing platforms like the Silk Road to thrive in an anonymous payment system. Others were socialists, hoping to use Bitcoin to diminish capitalist corporations by providing everyone with access to a banking system through Bitcoin. This realization of where his passions truly lie was solidified with Vitalik's trip to a Bitcoin conference in 2013 when he was finally able to meet some of these people face to face. He saw real businesses taking risks with real money, all in the name of Bitcoin. He explains it himself. The realization I had is that, wow, this space isn't just a bunch of random people on the internet. It's real. It's people doing serious things and people making a really serious effort of pushing the space forward. And here is where things get really exciting. It was time to go all in. Vitalik sat his parents down and told them that he was going to drop out of Waterloo and travel the world in search of brilliant minds doing brilliant things with Bitcoin. Little did he know he was in for quite the ride. He found himself amongst all sorts of wacky characters. First, he moved in with anti-capitalist, anti-state hippies living in communes constructed from abandoned buildings away from society. While staying there, he witnessed a band of hackers test and stretch the limits of what Bitcoin was capable of. Then, a tour around Europe led him to many more fascinating people. A stateless political activist working on a project that allows users to mask their transaction histories. Some of the most active programmers in the Bitcoin community, contributing thousands of lines to the Bitcoin code. Even the co-founder of Pirate Bay, who was now working on Bitcoin projects. As he met more and more people who taught him about their projects and showed him how they were using Bitcoin, he developed a strange thought that continued to gnaw at him. He began to realize that Bitcoin had a limited potential. He believed Bitcoin had built itself into a box. All it allowed for was a transaction. You can send a coin from one wallet to another securely. Vitalik realized there could be something more. There could be a new type of blockchain, a programmable blockchain, a platform of sorts, rather than just a ledger tracking system that kept a record of movement from A to B. He wanted to somehow allow ideas to be built on top of the blockchain. It was only a wisp of an idea at the time, but Vitalik knew it was something that he would have to come back to. Eventually, Vitalik ended up in Israel, where a project called Mastercoins was carrying out cutting-edge experimentation with blockchain technology. This project was edging closer to the idea that Vitalik had in mind. Like we discussed, Bitcoin simply allows for a transaction tracking system, so mastercoins started creating specific transactions on top of the Bitcoin blockchain. Let's use an example. Let's say you wanted to create a program that would manage football bets for you. You make a bet with your friends on mastercoins, and if your team wins and you win the bet, the money automatically goes to you and the transaction is recorded on the blockchain. If you lose, vice versa. But Vitalik noticed there was one major problem. The Mastercoins team would have to build out every single specific scenario. Want a program that can track basketball bets? Well, you'll have to wait for the Mastercoins team to implement that. Vitalik wanted something more generalized, an approach where you could allow users to easily build out scenarios on top of an easily modifiable platform. He proposed these changes to the Mastercoin team, and while they did commend him for the creative idea, they ultimately rejected him since it would take so much work. But Vitalik wasn't a bit discouraged. He set out to do it on his own. He would write his very own white paper and bring his idea to life. He just needed to figure out how he would implement it. And that's when it hit him. Like many writers will tell you, a lot of the time spent creating is actually spent thinking, walking, getting inspiration. Now living in San Francisco, that's exactly what Vitalik did. He'd go on walks through parks and other parts of the city, contemplating how to make such a complicated technology work, when suddenly the spark that changed everything hit him. As you might know, blockchains are built off the back of miners. As transactions go through, miners work to continuously validate the blockchain using their computers as the source of power to carry out the mathematical procedures needed to validate the blockchain. But of course, miners need incentive to do so. They're not going to simply ring up their power bill for free, which is why you need some way to compensate them. One of the ways cryptocurrencies do this is by rewarding them newly minted coins, but another way is through transaction fees. In Bitcoin, one of the two parties involved in a transaction simply pay that fee. But in Ethereum, there could be 20 or 50 or 1,000 people engaging with one contract. Vitalik had the incredible idea of implementing a system that would collect what he called gas from each contract interaction. Each member of the transaction could split the cost through a fee, and the blockchain could continue to be validated. Once the idea of gas unlocked the generalized approach Vitalik had been searching for, he wrote the white paper in just 2 weeks. He sent the paper to 15 of his closest friends, and it sent shockwaves through the crypto community. The paper would spread throughout circles like wildfire, and soon Vitalik had people constantly reaching out, asking if they could help build this new exciting idea. Now, with a workforce at his disposal, Vitalik wanted to create Ethereum differently. He wanted to make Ethereum about and for the people who use it. Bitcoin excels at sending value directly to one party, while Ethereum was going to be a vessel for the people of the world to fill. What better way to do that than to let a large team of people help bring the idea to life? And while that sounds great on paper, Vitalik's openness to let just about anybody join the team would soon come back to bite him. Inflated ego, backstabbing, incompetence, and greed would all surface within the group of people Vitalik assembled around him. Looking back at the founding days, Vitalik is quoted, "Team dynamics is the thing that almost killed Ethereum on multiple occasions." As the team assembled in early 2014, however, Vitalik didn't have the benefit of hindsight, and he was about to begin the long journey of creating Ethereum. Eventually, Ethereum would reach the unfathomable heights we now see it at today, with an asset cap placing it amongst the top 30 most valuable entities in the world, alongside MasterCard and Nestle. And along with its incredible value came an incredible opportunity for innovative ideas, just like Vitalik envisioned, including incredibly successful ones like OpenSea, the leading platform for selling NFTs, one that arguably propelled the recent NFT craze to the heights that it went, or even Uniswap, a decentralized crypto exchange that allows peer-to-peer trading, removing any need for a third-party middleman like Coinbase. And we haven't even reached anywhere near the potential of what you can do with Ethereum. In the years to come, we'll see disruptions across countless industries. Storing data online by purchasing storage space from Google or Microsoft or Dropbox could be completely eliminated by instead distributing space across thousands of data centers. Political elections could have no questions of whether election results were altered because they could be validated through the Ethereum blockchain. Passports, IDs, and now vaccination records could all be stored digitally and tied to the blockchain, allowing authenticity to be built in without any sort of extra validation system. The list goes on and on and on, and it's all been possible because of the Ethereum blockchain. Don't get me wrong, there's a long way to go. I can hear the comments already. What about the insane gas fees? Ethereum 2 has been weeks away for months now. What about Ethereum alternatives? And I'm not making any opinion on the future of Ethereum or giving you any sort of investment advice, but I'm simply pointing out the brilliance of the platform and the incredible story that it gave us. Regardless of whether you think Ethereum or an alternative of Ethereum will prevail, well, Ethereum walked so others could run, and that's what makes it so phenomenal. To be so ahead of its time and lay the foundation to what I believe will be the future of many, many technologies. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see me make a part 2 where I talk about the development of Ethereum, which was also very intense, you can let me know by liking and commenting on this video. I'd be more than happy to do so. And with that, thanks again. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.